Hey, hi everyone. I had a lovely conversation with Ketan, the author of Extraordinary, and a very close friend. I did pose to him some of the questions that many candidates have asked us. How do they improve their performance in virtual interviews? And Ketan has some lovely tips. Hey, hi Ketan. Thanks for taking time off to speak to me. I have been facing a little bit of challenge in a few situations where some senior candidates as well have been a little stuck up since the entire pandemic started with respect to giving interviews virtually. What's your thought on those?
Glad Arindam, you're speaking. You're talking about this. In fact, I've been speaking to few people, and I've been on the other side when I'm interviewing people.
Hmm.
What I've realized is that most of us, including me, are
Hmm.
still in our physical way of interacting with people, with the body language, with the sound, with the cameras, when we are giving interviews. There's this
Yeah,
this
yeah.
psychology saying that just because I'm able to see the other person, I
Hmm.
assume that the other person is able to see me well or hear me well or
Yeah.
can see me well, because we are still in the physical world. We're trying to replace, but technology is trying to replace and come in between interaction. So this
Hmm.
is one of the biggest things I've realized, that most of us has still been carrying.
Hmm.
And awareness on this and taking actions there can create results that is unimaginable. So absolutely, and thank you for bringing this out, Arindam. It the few things that if people do can make a huge difference to the overall interview conversation.
If I had to ask you, what are the top three things that people can do, so that the way they would probably present themselves in a physical world equivalent of an interview in the virtual world? What are those top three things could be that we could probably tell those lovely folks that, look, these are things you should definitely be doing?
There are many, to be honest, small ones, but if I bucket it into the large three parts,
Mhm.
the first one would be the infrastructure.
Fair enough. Okay.
When I say infrastructure, I had a laptop earlier. For some reason, the company, and it was a big, one of the most famous brands of laptop, they put the camera at the bottom of the screen. Now
Okay.
imagine, imagine when I'm speaking to somebody, it almost looked like that I'm sitting on the mountain and looking at these people.
All right.
So
Let me try doing that. Okay.
the fact is that laptops were never designed for online interviews,
Mhm.
right? Be it the speaker, mic, camera, lights, they were not. Home lights are not conditioned to actually get the best out of you.
Mhm.
And most people are not paying attention to that. And they're far more dimensional to life. There could be things like power backup. Now let's assume we are having an interview and my internet conks up,
Mhm.
or there's a power failure.
Mhm.
Now it suddenly breaks the overall conversation. So one, being aware, preparing for the infrastructure with very basic tools can make a huge difference. That's the one large part.
Right. Right. Okay.
The second is about screen presence. And I'm
Mhm.
not talking about people to become a superstar when they're having a conversation, but uh, is your camera and I are at the same level? Now, right now, when I'm speaking to you, I'm looking in the camera.
Okay. I don't know where I'm looking though. Okay.
So thank you for saying that. So this is what happens, right? We are not
Okay.
aware of where we are looking at and what we are doing. Now, the erstwhile body language is transforming into a different way of how you communicate. There's a
Mhm.
lot of energy that needs to be increased more. The voice modulation plays an important role.
Mhm.
Sitting straight, upright will change your physiology. So there are these 11, 12 things that I believe are important,
Mhm.
which should focus, and or it focuses on screen presence.
Mhm.
And again, those are the things most people ignore, but an
Right.
awareness and a specific focus there can make a lot of difference. Now I'm speaking to you right now, I'm sitting straight. Now imagine suddenly I'm sitting on a couch and I'm in a very comfortable situation. Now because I think you are sitting straight, you are also seeing me sitting straight. Now these are the
Mhm.
things that needs to change for the interview conversation to go well.
Mhm.
This becomes even more important, Arindam, is and I don't know if you've experienced that, but the number of meetings everybody's is having these days has increased,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
means my overall attention time is coming down.
Mhm.
I don't think so. People are now getting into that an hour and a half or 2 hours of a one-to-one interview conversation. My sense is they're coming to a sweet spot of 30, 40 minutes,
Right.
which means you can't let the infrastructure or the other problems come in between. What you want to say has to go immediately and in the best possible way, because the decision time frame has suddenly reduced.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
And the third part is, now with this decision time frame being reduced, people have to prepare more and sharper with the content that they're sharing in the conversation.
Absolutely correct.
Okay, so these are the three broad pieces, if you ask me, where there is a huge opportunity which most people have been missing.